Marty Lagina's latest dig in the money pit. Marty Lagina's latest dig in the money pit has uncovered something that left the entire team uneasy. As they dug deeper, what they found wasn't just unexpected, it was downright terrifying. The excitement of searching for treasure quickly turned into concern, as strange discoveries hinted at something far more dangerous beneath. Could the old tales of the money pit's dark stories finally be coming true? Let's unearth things so horrible that no one ever saw coming. The garden shaft. A shocking find deep in the garden shaft. In his latest dig, Rick Lagina found something that shocked both those who know history and those who hunt for treasure. This discovery doesn't just spark curiosity, it has everyone on edge, hinting at a more troubling past than we'd imagine. Could this new find be pointing to some great disaster from long ago? On a clear, hopeful day, Rick Lagina and his friend, Scott Barlow, were all set to start a new phase of drilling at the garden shaft. Their aim was simple: dig up clues from the 18th century that might point them toward a legendary stash. Just 3 weeks before, they had managed to deepen the famous garden shaft to an impressive 100 feet, where they stumbled upon what seemed to be an old wooden passageway from the 17th century. This was not just exciting because of its age, but also because it connected to a spot known as the Baby Blob. Before we dig deeper into this, it's clear that what Rick Lagina uncovered is far more unsettling than anyone expected. And this won't be the last discovery that will leave you speechless. Earlier testing in this area had hinted at gold and silver far beneath, but this discovery brought up more questions than it answered. Taking a closer look at the passage, they noticed some worrying gaps. Parts of the walls and ceiling were just missing. This led to a big question. Did someone remove parts of this passage on purpose to hide something incredibly valuable? With the garden shaft now reaching down to 106 feet, the team was ready for a detailed drilling operation led by experts from Dumas Contracting Limited. They aimed to explore the hidden parts of the passage, searching for any signs of the treasure that had fascinated so many for so long. Marty Lagina, always the skeptic, was really thinking about those missing sections. Was someone trying to protect a well-hidden treasure? Drilling turned into more than just a physical job. It was a serious search for the truth. With samples being taken every 10 feet to be thoroughly checked, water unexpectedly started pouring into the shaft through holes drilled near the 97-foot mark. This likely struck one of the island's well-known flood tunnels, a problem that had stumped treasure hunters for more than 200 years. But would this stop them? Not at all. The team was more determined than ever. The metals found in the water and other gathered evidence only made them more eager to continue. Rick Lagina and his crew were feeling more hopeful than ever that they were about to make a big discovery. Following the steps of those who had come before them, but failed to unlock the island's old tales, Rick brought his team together, reminding them that every challenge was just another obstacle to get past. They decided to pump out the water and keep moving forward. Looking into the depths of the garden shaft, Rick, Marty, Craig, and the rest felt a strong connection to past explorers who had tried and failed to solve the island's old stories. Yet, with today's technology, historical knowledge, and unwavering determination, they were better equipped than anyone before them. During their exploration deeper into the newly revealed part of the passage, Rick found large, uniquely shaped wooden beams. These confirmed the passage's existence and its importance in history. The beams, which varied from round to slender, seemed to have been part of the passage's structure, possibly as supports. What would they find out next from these discoveries? This moment was a turning point for the team. It didn't just move their search forward, it gave solid proof that quieted any doubts about the passage's existence. The unusual shapes of the beams showed a complicated building method, probably from the 17th century, as earlier tests had confirmed. The beams showed the team they were only beginning. Each find made them believe more was hidden nearby. Ancient timbers hold forgotten stories. Excited by this proof, the team decided to take some of the beams out for a closer look, hoping this examination would tell them when the beams were made, and maybe lead them to the treasures rumored to be hidden on the island. This part of their exploration was key. Showing that these timbers were part of the original structure could finally link them to the treasures buried deep under Oak Island. Gary, a skilled excavator, came to the site with his trusted metal detector and a spirit ready to discover. He was keen to find artifacts that could tell more about the area's past. His efforts quickly paid off when his detector beeped, indicating a metal object. This wasn't just any old piece of junk. Its unique shape suggested it was from a much earlier time, potentially offering important clues about the past. As the digging continued, the team made sure to do things right. They set up markers along the passage, which helped them make accurate maps of what lay underground. This careful approach was critical, not just for understanding the passage, but also for guiding future digs and ensuring everyone's safety. One of the most exciting finds that day was a piece of wood shaped by an adze, a tool used way before today's machines were around. Digging deeper, as they dug and discovered, Rick and his team felt more connected to the history and the stories of the island than ever before. Each piece of wood, each strange object, each layer of soil told part of a story that had been waiting silently for centuries. Every day brought new challenges, but also new pieces of a long-hidden past that slowly started to fit together, promising to reveal more than just hidden riches, but a deep and rich history of the island itself. They knew the risks and the challenges, but their resolve was firm, to uncover the truths that lay buried under Oak Island, piece by piece, clue by clue. With each discovery, they moved closer to understanding the true story of this place. Driven by a mix of historical curiosity and the thrill of the hunt, the team held the old object with great care, feeling like it connected them to the people who built the tunnel a long time ago. It seemed like those builders might have been trying to hide something important. Holding the object made them feel like they were uncovering part of the past. As the sun began to set, the team's excitement grew, thinking about what more they could discover the next day. They decided to use sideways drilling to dig deeper, hoping to find the source of the valuable metals their tools had picked up earlier. That evening, Rick and his team left the site feeling more energized than ever. Each piece of wood and every old object they found added to a bigger story they were slowly putting together. They weren't just hunting for treasure, but also trying to understand what had happened on the island so many years ago. Meanwhile, across the island, Rick, Gary Drayton, and Billy Gerhardt were hard at work in another part of the swamp. This swamp had always caught their attention. Because of the interesting things found there, they were now hoping to uncover even more. Their goal was to find objects like the ship parts they had dug up in past years. These ship pieces were from as far back as the 15th and 18th centuries. But the biggest surprise came in the year 2020, when they found part of a ship's railing. Testing showed the piece could be from as early as the 8th century, much older than anything they had expected. This find hinted that the swamp might have an even deeper history, one far older than they first thought. Dr. Doug Simmons believed the pieces could even connect to Viking explorers from medieval times, pushing the team to keep digging. With shovels in hand, they kept working, hoping to confirm this exciting connection. Gary tried to keep everyone's spirits high, making jokes about how treasure must be nearby. During the dig, Rick found a piece of wood with a hole that looked like it came from a ship's runner, the part that protects the bottom of the ship near the shore. Billy thought it might be a broken keel runner, which could mean the ship hit rocks in the past. This idea made sense, adding another piece to the growing story of what might have happened in the swamp. Uncovering the old timbers gave the team fresh hope. But digging deeper brought even more surprising discoveries. More surprises. A piece of wood points to an old plan. While they were thinking about the ship, they stumbled upon something even more surprising. A large wooden structure that looked like a wall or a dam. This reminded them of something Fred Nolan, a past treasure hunter on Oak Island, had found over 30 years ago. Nolan believed the structure he found was part of a dam built a long time ago to hide something valuable. Now, the team wondered if this new discovery could be linked to the ancient ship railing they had uncovered earlier. Everything seemed to fit together, creating a clearer picture of the swamp's past. Feeling like they were close to uncovering something big, Rick called in geoscientist Dr. Ian Spooner to study the area around the wooden structure. Dr. Spooner planned to figure out how old the wood was and see if it was connected to a stone road nearby. which was thought to be about 500 years old. If this road was part of a larger system used to move goods, it would mean the area had been busy with activity a long time ago. Each discovery brought the team closer to understanding the bigger picture. As they put the pieces together, their excitement grew, but they knew the swamp still held more surprises, buried deeper than they had dug so far. On the northern side of the swamp, Marty Lagina and Dr. Spooner began working with their team on another area that had caught their interest. Marty, always curious, couldn't stop thinking about what might be hidden beneath the ground. They stood next to a large stone, wondering if it could have a connection to Nolan's Cross, a group of stones arranged in an unusual way on the island. John Edwards, a researcher, believed something valuable could be hidden near Nolan's Cross and thought it might be linked to the Knights Templar. Billy had also found a huge boulder sitting on top of what looked like a man-made stone structure. The team wondered if the boulder had been placed there on purpose many years ago. Dr. Spooner decided to move the boulder to get a better look, wanting to know if the stones underneath were natural or placed by people a long time ago. As they kept digging, Marty thought about how important Nolan's Cross could be. If it turned out to be man-made, it could mean people had changed the landscape on purpose for an important reason. While they were thinking about that, something unexpected happened. Dr. Spooner found a stick wedged between the boulder and the dirt below it. This small piece of wood proved that the boulder had been moved on purpose, possibly to control the flow of water in the swamp. This discovery only made the team more curious about what else might be hidden beneath the surface. The next day, they came back to the swamp, more determined than ever to uncover whatever was left to be found. As they kept digging, Gary and Billy discovered something strange: tree stumps and layers of old wood in a part of the swamp where trees usually don't grow. This odd find supported Dr. Spooner's theory that the swamp had been changed by people long ago. It seemed like someone had shaped the land for a specific reason. The thought of what might still be buried deep in the swamp excited the team even more. Every new clue made them believe they were getting closer to something much bigger than they had first imagined. But just when they thought they were starting to understand what had happened in the swamp, more questions began to form. What else could be hidden beneath the layers of mud and water? What other pieces of history were waiting to be uncovered? Each step forward brought new mysteries, surprises, showing them that the swamp still held many more things to discover. As they dug deeper, they knew the story of Oak Island was far from over. The deeper they went, the more they felt like something truly significant was just within reach, waiting for them to find it. Every new find added more clues. The swamp's strange layout hinted at something carefully hidden long ago. Gold-coated button found in the soil, hidden treasures. During their excavation, Jack and Billy stumbled upon a circular arrangement of stones within a pit lined with rocks. This setup appeared too purposeful to be a product of nature, aligning with John Edwards' hypothesis that someone had intentionally altered the landscape. Their discovery hinted at a deeper historical significance, prompting the team to conduct a thorough examination to fully understand what they were uncovering. As they continued to dig, they found several pieces of neatly cut wood and other wooden artifacts in the swamp. These items seemed too well crafted to have naturally appeared there. Intriguingly, these artifacts might even predate any known history of Oak Island, driving the team to delve deeper into understanding the island's past. They began to consider the possibility that the island had been visited by people much earlier than previously thought, perhaps including historical groups like the Knights Templar. For